8 years later, and no open world quite feels like this. Not because it looks better, but because its world behaves differently. And once you see why, you start noticing everything other games are missing. Because Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't just simulate a world, it simulates a system. And while newer games are pushing visuals and scale forward, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still ahead in something more important. To understand why Red Dead Redemption 2 still feels unmatched, we have to start with the engine. Because this isn't just a rendering engine, it's a simulation engine. And that changes everything. Most modern engines are built to render beautiful environments as efficiently as possible. But Rockstar's Rage engine is built differently. It prioritizes systems and lets visuals emerge from them. You're not just seeing a world, you're seeing systems interacting in real time. Take physics, for example. Everything has weight. Movement has resistance. Actions have consequences. That consistency is what makes the world believable. The horse alone is a perfect example of this philosophy. It's not just great animations with seamless animation blendings, a solid key solvers system. It's a system reacting to terrain, speed, and input. And your brain picks up on that instantly. Then there's the micro simulation layer. Cloth doesn't just move, it reacts to wind, motion, and direction. These are small details individually, but together they create constant feedback from the environment. But what really sets this engine apart is persistence. The world remembers what you do. And that's when it stops feeling like a game and starts feeling like a real place. All of this adds up to something very specific: predictability. Not in the sense that things are scripted, but in the sense that they behave consistently. And consistency is what your brain interprets as realism. So even if newer games push higher resolution or more advanced lighting, this level of systemic consistency is still rare. And that's why Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't just look real, it feels real. And by the way, the lighting is amazing in this game. What's interesting is it's not the most technically advanced game today, but it feels more real than most other games. And all of that technology is only as good as the way it's used, because this is where Red Dead Redemption 2 really separates itself by its environment art. Most games build environments as a collection of assets. Red Dead builds them as ecosystems. You're not walking through a level, you're moving through something that feels like it evolved over time. Let's start with composition. Nothing feels placed for the player, but everything guides the player. The design is there, but you don't see it. The best level design is when you don't feel the design intentions at all. Now look at how terrain is handled. Transitions between environments are never abrupt. Everything blends, the same way it would in real life. You don't go from forest to mountain, you pass through layers in between. Then there's the materials. Surfaces don't just look good, they tell a story. You can tell how something was used just by looking at it. You can see the mud on the path, worn out wood, aging structures. Let's also mention the water shader, which is one of the most credible and realistic looking, even by today's standards. Now look at the towns. Buildings exist for a reason, and their placement reflects that. This is functional design, not just visual design. It feels real because it makes sense. Everything is grounded in reality. Another thing most people don't notice is density. Some areas are dense, others are intentionally empty. That contrast is what makes the world feel natural. Real worlds aren't optimized for content, they're uneven. And this is where environment art connects back to the engine. The environment isn't static, it reacts. There are lighting changes, different time of the day. Art and systems are working together. That's what turns visuals into an immersive experience. What's interesting is how this compares to what we're seeing in newer games like Crimson Desert. All of this adds up to something subtle but powerful: believability. Not because everything is hyper detailed, but because everything feels consistent. Your brain isn't looking for detail, it's looking for logic. And this is where this becomes really important if you're learning environment art. Most artists focus on making assets look good, but that's not what makes this work. This works because everything fits together. The relationship between elements, the world coherence, design thinking. Studios aren't just hiring artists, they're hiring people who understand how worlds are built. And once you start looking at environments this way, you realize something else. It's not just about how the world looks, it's about how it behaves. But visuals alone don't create immersion. NPCs have a life of their own. You can follow them through their routine. Day after day, from morning to night, they will go to work, take breaks, go out at nights, pass out drunk on the table for some of them, and go back to work the next day. This means that they are part of this world just like you are. This is on a whole other level than most other games' AI for NPCs. The animal live in believable ecosystems, displaying behavior that they would in the wild. Wolves will mourn their fallen pack members, for instance. Random encounters are found everywhere in the world. This makes the world feel real. You are not alone completing quests. There are others with their own motivations, hopes, and problems. Everything reacts even when you're not looking. But one of the most overlooked reasons why Red Dead Redemption 2 feels so immersive is what it lets you do when you're not following the main story. Because in most open world games, most side activities are just distractions, or worse, checklists, icons on the map, tasks to complete. But in Red Dead Redemption 2, side activities feel like part of the world. Take something as simple as fishing. The attention to detail with the animation, the physical interaction, the environmental integration, it's not just a minigame. It's a continuation of the simulation. It follows the same rules as the rest of the world. Or even something like playing poker in a saloon. The NPC behavior, comments, the atmosphere, the pacing. You're not entering a separate system. You're staying inside the same one. There's no disconnect. Then there's hunting, which might be the best example. You have Charles Smith, a member of the gang, who can teach you how to track animals. This opens up a whole new system. You will find tracks with eagle eye. Then you will have to manage the wind and your scent that the animals can pick up, which is a real thing, by the way. You can even use a cover scent lotion to hide your smell and improve your odds. Now that's deep immersion. Your horse is also super sensitive to danger and aware of the environment. You can check his behavior to know if there's a prey or a predator nearby. With this, it's not about completing an objective. It's about understanding the ecosystem. You're learning how the world works. And the game never breaks immersion to teach you. And this is the key difference. Most games switch modes when you start an activity. Red Dead doesn't. There's no now you are in the fishing mode. You're just fishing in the world. Everything follows the same rules. And that consistency is what makes it believable. The world never breaks character. It never reminds you that it's a game. And this changes how you play. You're not chasing objectives, you're choosing experiences. The game doesn't push you, it invites you. And if you're studying environment art, this is a massive lesson. Side activities aren't just content, they're part of the world building. If your systems don't match your world, the illusion breaks instantly. You need cohesion, consistency for immersion. Studios are looking for people who understand this level of integration. And when every system, every activity, and every interaction feels connected, you stop thinking about what to do next, and you just exist in the world. And all of this leads to something you feel almost immediately, but rarely think about: pacing. Most open world games are designed to keep you busy. Constant objectives, constant rewards, constant direction. Red Dead Redemption 2 does the opposite. This game is slow on purpose. Everything takes time, and that time creates presence. You don't just move through the world, you live in it. The game doesn't constantly tell you what to do. There's space between moments. And that space is where immersion happens. Because immersion isn't created by action, it's created by silence. Instead of pushing you forward, the game lets you decide of your own pace. You choose when to engage. That freedom makes every action feel intentional. You're not reacting to the game, you're acting within it. And this is where it really stands apart from many modern open worlds. A lot of games are designed around efficiency, like fast traveling anywhere, dense objectives, constant rewards. They optimize your time, but they remove your sense of place. You finish the world, but you never really live in it. Red Dead uses time differently. Time isn't friction, it's a feature. It forces you to absorb the world. The game slows you down so you can actually see it. And because of that slower pace, something else starts to happen. Moments emerge. Not because the game told you to go there, but because you were there. That's where the magic happens. And if you're building environments or designing games, this is one of the hardest lessons to understand. More content doesn't create better experiences. Better pacing does. You don't need to fill every moment. You need to give players room to feel them. Studios are looking for people who understand when to add and when to step back. And when a game trusts you to slow down, to explore at your own pace, to create your own moments, that's when it stops feeling like a product and starts feeling like a world. This is why it's still the benchmark. Many games got bigger, but not deeper. And this is where all of this becomes more than just an analysis, because there's a real lesson here, especially if you're trying to become an environment artist. Most artists look at a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 and focus on the wrong things. They look at the assets, the textures, the props, the materials, but that's not what makes this work. What makes this work is how everything connects. The relationship between elements, consistency across systems, the cohesion. It's not about how good one asset looks, it's about how everything fits together. That road leads somewhere. That building has a purpose. That landscape tells a story. And this is where a lot of students struggle. They spend months learning tools like ZBrush, Substance Designer, Unreal Engine, but they never learn how to think like a world builder. They build assets, not worlds, which is what an environment artist should be doing. When studios are reviewing portfolios, what they are asking is something like, does this person understand scale? Do they understand composition? Do they understand how environments function? Can they build something that feels real, not just something that looks good? Because at a AAA level, you're not just creating assets. You're contributing to a system. Your environment is linked to gameplay. Your environment is linked to AI. More importantly, your environment is linked to the narrative. Everything you build has to support something else. And that's the real gap. It's not tools. It's understanding. Understanding how worlds are designed, how systems interact, and how players experience space. That's what separates a beginner from someone who gets hired. If you're learning environment art, start thinking differently. Study real worlds, architecture, flora, analyze game design, focus on relationships. Don't just ask, how do I make this look good? Ask, why does this exist here? And if you want a structured way to approach this, I put together a free AAA environment portfolio checklist. It will help you structure your portfolio. Get it for free, link in the description. Because at the end of the day, this level of quality isn't random. It's the result of understanding how everything connects. And that's the level you need to aim for if you want to work on games like this. And that's why Red Dead Redemption 2 is still the standard. If you're learning from these videos but are still struggling to put everything together into a full environment, that's exactly why I built my full course. You'll build the entire scene step by step in real time, understanding composition, scale, materials, and lighting, so you can apply the same process to your own worlds. These environments were created by students using the same workflow you will learn here. It's designed for artists who already know the basics and want to create a professional portfolio work, not just isolated studies. This isn't about learning tools, it's about learning how professionals build environments. If that's where you're trying to get to, you can check the link in the description. And a quick thank you to the members supporting the channel. Your support helps make these videos possible.